The age-old question is, where do humans come from? What if the theory of evolution isn't the full story? This video will explore why questioning the mainstream narrative matters, and why blind acceptance can limit our progress. The theory of evolution dominates modern science, but let's face it, no one truly knows how humans appeared on Earth, or how the dinosaurs vanished. Evolution is often treated as fact, yet it's still just a theory that was proposed by Charles Darwin in 1859. Evolution assumes humans evolved by chance through natural selection over billions of years, starting from single-cell organisms. But is that plausible? It seems that these days people need to have a rational explanation for all of the things that they cannot comprehend. Scientists demand a measurable or so-called scientific answer to such questions. The thought that humans were created by a divine being, such as God, is not generally accepted in today's society. Fred Hoyle, a British astronomer, wrote in his 1983 book, The Intelligent Universe, that if a junkyard contains all the bits and pieces of a Boeing 747 airplane, and a whirlwind happens to blow through the yard, what is the chance that it creates a fully assembled 747 ready to fly? The chance is so small as to be negligible, even if a tornado were to blow through enough junkyards to fill the whole universe. Humans are incredibly complex. Our brains, DNA, and the ability to build supercomputers didn't happen by accident. Our complexity challenges randomness. Given that evolution, according to Darwin, is in a continual state of motion, the fossil record should be full of examples of transitional forms, leading from the less evolved to the more evolved. However, what we see instead is an array of distinct kinds of plants and animals, with many varieties, but with very clear and apparently unbridgeable gaps between the various different kinds. For example, there are many varieties of dogs and many varieties of cats, but no dats or cogs. Evolutionary geneticists have often experimented on fruit flies and other rapidly reproducing species to induce mutational changes, hoping they would lead to new and better species. But these experiments have all failed to accomplish their goal. No truly new species has ever been produced, let alone a new basic kind. Why do we have such specific species that are no longer evolving? How did fish, with bones on the inside, evolve into invertebrates, with their shells and hard parts on the outside? There are no fossils of the in-between stages to show that they actually evolved. And if we start looking at animal DNA, things get really confusing. For example, the elephant shrew, which is a small insectivore the size of a mouse, is in fact more closely related to the true large elephant, and cows are closely related to dolphins than they are to horses. While humans share about 99% of their DNA with chimpanzees, a puzzling fact is that bananas share 60% of human DNA, and rice shares 50% of human DNA. How did this happen? The theory of evolution assumes that we are descended from apes. Many textbooks show Neanderthals in the gap between. However, recent archaeological findings have shown that humans coexisted with Neanderthals for roughly 260,000 years. Neanderthals disappeared around 40,000 years ago, but they did not evolve into humans. Humans already existed. And just remember how complex humans are. Our DNA, eyes, and the brain. Such a body and brain that can build supercomputers and send a spaceship to the moon cannot have evolved by accident. When we look at plants and animals' biological structures, like the bacterial flagellum or the eye, scientists know that they only work when all parts are present. If one piece is removed, the system fails. How could such systems evolve step by step? This makes gradual, incremental evolution impossible, because the intermediate stages would be non-functional and offer no survival advantage. In summary, science should invite questions, not silence them. However, these days, anyone who disagrees with the theory of evolution is at risk of being marginalized. This bias is contradictory, because the theory of evolution is just a theory, with many gaps. It merely makes assumptions and has numerous unanswered questions. Blind acceptance isn't progress. Critical thinking is. So what do you think? Is evolution the full story, or is there more we need to explore? Comment below, and let's start the conversation.